Diaz Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye up. Bye up. In a menudo style in a direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel and it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled and I'm very much so appreciative. So thank you. I couldn't do it without you, right? So Chola Juan pulls up to no jumper, right? And for those of you that don't know who Chola Juan is, he's from El Rio and Oxnard, right? The 805 area. Man, I got a long history with the 805. I got a lot of respect for the 805. That's first and foremost. I'm going to say that. Shout out to the 805 area. Oxnard, Ventura, Santa Barbara, Santa Maria. That whole area, man, I got respect. Even Bakersfield when it used to be 805 back in the days. Because when I was locked up, them cats were putting in their work. They were earning their stripes and their respect. No denying it, right? So Chola Juan comes from that area and he's achieved. He's made it to no jumper, right? Now, again, you know I don't condone anyone going on that podcast, man, for my own reasons. I don't care for it. You know, I think Adam is building indictments. But at the end of the day, man, to each their own. And I'm proud to say another brown man has made his presence felt. Period. Doesn't matter if he's from up north or from down south. He did that. And that's what it is, right? So the gist of this, or whatever I would say, right, is this. Chola Juan was asked a lot of questions. And I'm not going to focus on the fact that he proclaimed himself the Mexican Crip Mac, right? Hey, you know what? That vato's smart. Wisdom rises above the rest. The 49th law of power, right? He's very, very smart in what he's doing. He sees a lane, Crip Mac's locked up. Fuck it, Holmes, Mexican Crip Mac. He looks like a very humble dude, a playful, energetic individual, right? That knows the streets, that's from the streets, but at the same time can sit down with you and bullshit and have a good time. And I've always said, man, if you got any comedic bones in you, if you got a knack for comedy, why not? Comedy is universal. A lot of people like to laugh with you, not at you. Or even if they laugh at you, fuck it. As long as you're getting a bag, it's all good. And he's definitely got a comedic bone. You know, he does things that other people necessarily wouldn't do. And proclaiming himself the Mexican Crip Mac, that's just one of them things. I respect it. I respect the hustle. I respect the get down. Do I agree with everything, Charlie? I believe that, you know, people put the Crip Mac label on you because we all know that Crip Mac was bipolar. Crip Mac had some shit going on, schizophrenia. And a lot of people try to downplay your character and basically throw smut on you and say, hey, you're a Crip. You're like a Crip Mac, Holmes. You're a J-Cat. This vato's embracing it. The embracement's real, and I respect that he's gonna fucking go with that in that lane and hopefully blow up. You know, Crip Mac did, why not Chola Juan? Why not a brown man doing the same thing the black man did? You know, hey, if someone lays out the demo, sabes que, follow the yellow brick road. You follow the yellow brick road and you get there. So, hey, respects and kudos for that one, right? Well played. So anyways, he goes on no jumper and Adam starts to ask all the instigating questions that he asked. And one of the questions he asked, I want to focus on, man. That's why I'm doing this content, right? I don't know Chola Juan from a fucking bowl of lumpy oatmeal. I'll say that. We've never had interaction, conversation. I know he rocks in the lane that he rocks in. I respect it. But at the end of the day, we probably wouldn't agree on a lot of things just because of my status within the gang lifestyle and his status. And that's cool, man. Understandable. But Adam asked him about doing time with Nortenos and how he felt about the northern raza, the vatos there up north, right? Myself, people that are from Northern California. And I'll tell you this, I respect Chola Juan's get down, man. The way he answered that question, the professionalism and the class that he showed and the respect he showed for up north is vastly different from what I've been hearing lately, right? When he was asked the question, he didn't shy away from it. He didn't choke up. He didn't look fucking befuddled. He wasn't with the bullshit shenanigans of disrespect. That vato said some of the realest stuff, and I've seen maybe 2 or 3 individuals from Southern California spit the real when it comes. And this is how I know that Chola Juan has done time on Yards with Nortenos, how I know there's been interaction, and respect shown, because I've done the same time and I could tell you the same stories. And you know, I think the first Southsider to do it, man, rapper, you know, that from LA that did it, and I was like, I automatically became a fan, a supporter of his, right? Was Young Dopey. Young Dopey from 18th Street, that vato said, he had love for the Northern Raza. That's how he said it. He said when he was incarcerated, when he was locked up, a Norteño shot him a care package while he was in the oil. And at first he was like, hands off, chale, Holmes. You know what I mean? I'm not going to take that from my enemiga, from my opposition. And then when he got at his homeboys told him, Charlie, bro, hey, take it. It's all good. You know, so he did. And I think that right there opened his eyes to, hey, man, prison is all about respect. Doesn't matter what side you're from, bro. When you're doing time in the oil and you guys are all going through a hardship and a struggle together, then do together, canalito, right? That's just what it is. And when that vato voiced that, there was a lot of people that didn't like it. There was a lot of people that said, fuck them vatos, man. Why are you taking shit from them? But those are the individuals that have never really done time. Because if you did real time on 4 yards and 3 yards and even some 2 yards, then you understand the respect and that everybody will tear your ass up. Okay, everybody is mobbing in their steel toes headed for the murder show in prison. Everybody got hitters and everybody's about their business. Okay, when you recognize that and understand it, then you gain an amount and a level of respect for people. Well, Cholo Juan has that respect. And now he has even more respect, I'm sure, from the Norteños, because instead of disrespecting, saying, fuck them fools, I'm on the blue team, this is where I stand. Oh, he let it be known. Absolutely. What side he's on, who he defends, who he's going to back, whose play he's going to back up. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He was born in Southern California, raised in Southern California, and recognizes, you know, where he's from and doesn't forget that. But at the same time, this is an individual, when asked how he felt about the Norteños, he gave them a lot of respect, man. He talked about being incarcerated where it counts, right? And being amongst Norteños and talking about them vatos are vicious. They're with the business as well. You know, didn't sugarcoat or add preservatives, didn't belittle them in any way or berate them, didn't fucking clown on them and say, fuck them vatos. Them vatos ain't shit. They want to be like us, like vatos like Bozo have done. Let's look at the difference between Bozo and Cholo Juan. Cholo Juan just got out of jail, just got out of the pinta. So he's had interactions with Norteños, and he's not just started doing time. He's been doing time for a while now. So there's been a lot of interaction there. And he respects the get down. He knows vatos are about the business on every side. Did he say, hey, man, fuck, these vatos fucking, did he tell stories and try to clown? No. He actually told stories about being in situations, man, where them vatos showed him a lot of respect. He also talked about situations on the streets, working in Northern California, and knowing, hey, man, if I fucking start pleito, if I act out of character, if I trip out, these vatos will smack my shit. And that's just like a Norteño going down south because he got a job. You know, they got to know what position they're in. You got to know whose backyard you're in and respect it. See, this world is built upon the foundation of respect, inside and outside of prison. And when you learn that, and when you're of an understanding to be a gangster, to be a gang member, you have to have respect. You have to show it to get it, right? If you're not about that business and you don't know how to do it and conduct yourself in that form or fashion, you're never going to make it. You're always going to be looked at as a bozo, and your ethnicity is always going to be spoken upon. You know, people like Bozo that like to say, you know, F the Northern Raza, they're not fucking with the business. They want to be like the South. You know, it's always division constantly. Those are the type of individuals that never been anywhere. You can tell by the way they conduct themselves. Or they got a bitter or sour taste in their mouth because they got beat up. Something happened to them. Something made them biased. Something instilled this hatred. I've never really seen it too much from vatos from Southern California because they've never been around Norteños. So they never had any reason to hate vatos from up north. They understand when they go to prison, that's the opposition, and they gets no love. But there's been several vatos that have spoken out against the bullshit. People like Baldacci, Young Dopey, that have said, you know what, hey, I stand with my home team, with my side, period. But there's no reason for me to disrespect these individuals because they're not my enemy, Holmes. Unless I'm locked up, then I got to do what I got to do. You know, it's a trip that You know, I used to see so many Southerners and blacks go at it. Go at it, man. Fucking melees and riots. And I was like, man, it's racial as fucking here when it comes to South and blacks, right? Just constantly fights in the youth authority. Even in prison, I seen a couple melees between blacks and Southsiders. I was like, damn, these vatos they be sad tripping on each other, right? And then I see them get out, and like these Southern rappers, oh, I can't do a song with Northern California rappers, and vice versa. Excuse me, I got checked on that. And vice versa. But at the same time, they can with the blacks. The same brothers that was trying to knock their heads off in prison, they could do music with them. I never understood it, right? And that goes on both sides. You know, there's a lot of Nortenos that don't function in prison with the whites. The whites are an enemy, man. They you know, it's on with the woods, brother. If you ain't got a shot of coffee and it don't got legs, it's on, right? But then at the same time, they can get out and function and fuck with them and do business with them. I just never understood it. I understand it, but never understood it, right? Anyways, Cholo Juan was asked this question on No Jumper, and he did the most righteous thing that I've seen a vato do in a long time. He kept it real. He didn't say he supported the Norteño cause, but he didn't downplay it either. He gave a level of respect. And I'm sure a lot of the Norteños were watching. Because, see, people watch No Jumper from every different background, every different hood, gang, group. And, you know, I'm seeing a lot of positive comments when it comes to Cholo Juan. I think he gained the respect of a lot of Norteños and the support. You know, vatos like someone who's funny, someone who's outspoken, someone who's real and uncut. I think that's why I get so much love and hate at the same time. So maybe I'm a little bit too much uncut, right? But at the same time, I understand where Cholo Juan was coming from. You know, when you've done time with Southsiders and Norteños, you got to understand that fucking everyone's down with the get down. That's a fact, man. And anyone that denies that and tries to fucking clown and talk shit, they're full of shit. They're lying to you. They're lying to you as a gente, as a people, and they're only here and set is to cause division. Because it's a thing with them. It's their manhood. They don't have it. They're not intact. They don't feel like complete men unless they're talking about another man and talking shit about him, another man, you know. And that's why I can't rock with Bozo and individuals like that, or even individuals up north that talk shit about Southsiders, because at the end of the day, man, if you feel that type of way, then get off where you're mad at. Don't fucking take to the internet to bump baking soda breath on the door to sell soldier, you know. Cholo Juan could have easily said, fuck them vatos, I don't fool with them. Them are the enemies, right? He didn't do that. He said fucking, you know, hey, man, them vatos are just as hard as us. Them vatos will get off on you. Them vatos will smack your shit. And I could see Adam, the instigator, was like, he didn't expect that. I think Adam seen Cholo Juan as a payaso. He's seen him as someone like putty in his hands that he could dictate the program. But I commend and respect that raza that's been going on there lately, because they've been holding it down for the brown, bro. People like Big Tone, Rico Too Smooth, Cholo Juan. They go on there and they utilize that platform for themselves to spread their gospel, to speak on their behalf, rather than to fall into the clutches of fucking the puppet master's evil fucking claws, Adam 16, and the bullshit that he tries to instigate. You know, just asking Cholo Juan that question, he knows, man, for the most part, there's going to be vatos that will disrespect. And he was hoping and praying, damn, I hope this vato disrespects. But Cholo Juan turned it on him. He had a Chicano U-turn for him. Now, let me tell you about some history with the 805. I've done a video in the past. Make sure you tap into it. It's on Gunners Collective TV right here. Talking about the 805 car while incarcerated in the youth authority and prison. Between them, the SGV and South Los, I would say were some of the most hardest ranflas I've ever been around. And let me explain to you about the 805, why they moved the way they did, according to my perspective on it, right? You know, back in my days, there was no 661 or there was no 559s or none of that. It was 209, it was 805, right? Now there's a lot of different area codes. I remember 415, 213, 818s. I remember all that shit, right? Now there's all kinds of different areas, because I'm not caught up with that, right? I still live back in the days in the 209 and the 805 era. And them vatos from Bakers were thick in the youth authority. And the vatos from Bakersfield used to go up north. They used to go up north for reception, half of them. And man, they went through some hardship, some struggle. They never bowed down though. They kept coming out of their cells. They kept getting off, right? And that Central Coast area, that area of Santa Maria, Santa Barbara, Lompoc, Lamparas, all that. They were, when I was locked up in Nellis in Southern California, because they weren't from LA, they weren't from past that area of LA, San Diego, IE, they were, or even the Valles, San Fernando and San Gabriel, they were always tested a little bit more, or felt that they were tested a little bit more. There was a lot of authors that used to say, you guys are from up north, when no, that whole area is Southern California, period. But they were looked at that way by some. There was a lot of LA tripping going on. If you weren't from LA, you weren't from nowhere. That's how them vatos got down. They still do to this day. Them vatos from LA move different, right? And I seen a lot of them vatos hold it down, and the 805 were vicious, and they were vicious on the Nortenos, man. We always watched them and seen what their program was, because they were the ones always getting off. Not because they were getting put on frontline status, because these vatos fucking had more interaction with the North, and so there was a hatred there. There was. Facts, right? I mean, there were the vatos like from Santa Barbara and Santa Maria that didn't even give a fuck. They were just doing their own program. But that's how it was. So I always respected the 805, knowing that they're dangerous, they're treacherous, and they'll get off. Cholo Juan comes from Oxnard, El Rio, very well-known hood out there. And I've been out there in Oxnard, Ventura. I've been out there. I have a homeboy that stayed out there. And when I was on the run, I went out there, man, and I was in Chiques, in Colonia. And I ain't even gonna lie, I threw on that cowboy jersey and got to pushing around that motherfucker. Hey, Saskia was there, right? But it was respect. Some chick told me, I was wearing a Raiders jersey. She told me, take that shit off. You get whacked around this motherfucker, right? So I put on a Emmett Smith jersey and kept it pushing, But true story here, I want to say gracias to Cholo Juan for showing respect for Northern California. I'm not a representative of Northern California, but, I've lived there my whole life, and I was born there, and I'll always be a Norteño from there. Maybe not a Norteño as a gang member, but a raza from up north. And I will tell you this, that's the type of sureño I'm used to. Class, professionalism, respect for the other side, respect for your enemies. I've said it many times. You can't call someone your enemy if you don't respect them just a little bit. Because an enemy is someone, man, that has shown their worth, shown that, hey, they're an adversary, right? That they're also playing chess and not checkers. And you want a worthy adversary. You don't want to be a bully, someone you could just pick on and beat up on. See, people like Bozo, they want to bully people. They don't want a worthy adversary because they know they'll lose. It's true, right? People like Cholo Juan, man, he's in his lane. He's making power moves wearing shower shoes. He's trying to pull hoes and strippers wearing Gucci slippers. And I respect it and I support him because of that. And I don't just support him because he said, hey, he has respect for the Norte and that, man, he ain't tripping off them vatos or nothing like that. I respect him because he's a man that knows how to conduct himself when he's on a platform. He's showing the raza, showing the people. Cholo Juan, out of all people, comedy, right? But he showed a lot of gente how to do it and how to do it right. Gotta respect it. I'm sure Adam wasn't too thrilled, but I hope he truly starts to bring more raza on. Now, I wanted to touch on another topic real quick. About a week ago, I made a video talking about, Bulldogs were next up on No Jumper. Who I heard it from? I'm not going to tell you who I heard this shit from. That's my little connections in the background. But now I'm hearing other content creators saying, hey, the Bulldogs are next up. Well, you heard it here first. I told you. Adam he went from bringing on rappers and graffiti artists and b-boys and all that to now dipping his fucking hands into the gang, bringing on gang members and people like that. So it was only right that the Bulldogs get their time and respectfully, why not? They've been pretty quiet lately in this North and South bullshit that's going on, this banging on wax. So let's hear what they have to say. I'm intrigued to hear what a righteous Bulldog has to say about it. I know the Bulldogs have no interaction or they don't engage with either side, not in a professional or a friendly manner. But at the end of the day, man, it's always good to see raza get their shine on, right? So shout out and respects to Cholo Juan. He did that, man. When asked about the Norteños, he said, hey, man, it's respect. Don't sleep on them. Don't believe the shenanigans and the bullshit people like Bozo and other people spread that they're all punks or suckers, man. Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers ain't never been through my city. Ain't never been through San Jose, Salas, San Fran, Sacra, Stockton, Tulare County, you'll get your whole wig smacked backwards. You will be looking like fucking, they'll do you like the Three Stooges. You'll be looking like Shrimp. I'm telling you, Vatos will skid mark your motherfucking headpiece. It's real talk. You be walking around like Wes Watson, blown out, right? Because they'll blow a new hole in you. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Again, man, shout out, respects to Cholo Juan. He did that. And gracias for showing people how you're supposed to conduct yourself as a brown man. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I honestly and truly believe in. And that's the betterment of our people, man. And all people. The gun. Gracias.